back to another episode of The Biggest Transformation Season 2. We are just finishing up with week 5. Week 5, coming into week 6. So today we're going to jump on with the cast in just a moment, get their weigh-ins done, find out how much they have lost in the last 5 weeks. And today's episode is one of those pivotal things that the cast, if they really want to move forward and leave the weight behind, if they really want to move past the past and what's been stopping them emotionally, physically, mentally, this is one of those vital steps. And so do not miss. You don't want to miss a second of what's going to be taking place. It's going to be a super powerful episode. So without further ado, let's jump on with the cast, get the weigh-ins done, and get into the episode. It is weigh-in day.
Yay!
Okay, Debbie.
Okie dokie. Turn a little better. 202.4. Can you see it? I don't know where the thing is.
Matthew.
All right.
271.
Okay, Laura.
224.
Okay, Mary Star.
2.6.
267.90. Whoops. Did you get that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Okay, Missy.
213.3.
Jen Short.
171.6.
Danielle.
218.
218, 1.8 pounds. Good job. What did your doctor say at your appointment?
He was so proud of me again. He just keeps saying over and over again.
He's probably so shocked.
Yeah.
Okay, I have the leaderboard through 5 weeks. Can you guys believe we've been doing this for 5 weeks? Craziness. All right.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, I know, right? In first place with a total of 24 pounds lost, 10.6%, Debbie.
Yay. All right, Debbie.
Yay! Holding down the first place spot for 2 weeks. Good job.
Woo.
In second place with a total of 31 pounds lost, 10.2%, Matthew. Second place, still nipping at Debbie's heels, although she extended the lead by a couple percentage point, a couple percent this week. So moving in the right direction with your lead, Debbie. Good job.
All right. I'm working on it.
She's like, Matthew who?
Yeah.
Don't count me out yet. I was there before. I will be there again.
Okay. Go for it. Try it, baby.
In third place with a total of 19.2 pounds lost, 8%, Laura. Woo!
Oh,
I'm sorry. Hold on. Rewind. In third place with a total of 15.9 pounds, 8% is right, 8%, Mary Star, third place.
Ooh, Mary. That was wrong, Carmen. That was so wrong.
In fourth place with a total of 19.2 pounds, 6.1%, Laura.
Aw.
Good job. In fifth place with a total of 23.2 pounds, 15.5 pounds, 5.48%, Danielle. Good job, Danielle.
Good.
In sixth place with a total of 23.2 pounds, 5.1%, Cindy.
Yeah.
And these don't count like what we lost during prep week, right?
Mm-mm.
Not the percentages. Hold on.
So Cindy, you've lost over 30 pounds.
Yeah.
Since prep week?
Okay. Yes. In seventh place with a total of 17.2 pounds lost, 4.6%, Missy. Good job, Missy. And in eighth place with a total of 11 pounds lost, 0.5%, Jen. Good job. This week, a grand total of 19.4 pounds. Total 149.6 pounds.
Wow.
149.6 pounds. So congratulations to everybody, whether everybody lost again last week, which is what we should be doing. But awesome job. Awesome job. So we are going to do the team red and blue at the end. Season 1 knows that, but just so you guys know, we're going to skip that for right now. And then we're going to jump into that. We're going to end with that. Does everybody have their homework?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, cool. I just want to make sure everybody had it before. So we're going to get to that in just a second. But here's what I want to say first is so many times in life, we have to do hard things to get to where we want to go. And this week, you're going to get out what you put in. And this week is such a powerful, pivotal week for your ultimate success when it comes to your health, spiritually, mentally, emotionally. And so often our emotions control our backside. And so often we have allowed other people's words or our own words to be used. People have spoken things, said things, and we have taken them and used them as weapons against ourselves. And you're never going to get to where you want to go really caring about what other people have to say about you. And here's the truth. Other people's opinions of you are none of your business. They're their opinions. And let's just get this out of the way. Are opinions fact?
No.
No, opinions are freaking opinions, and everybody's got one. They're not fact. They're not truth. Very seldom are opinions truth. Very seldom are opinions fact, but often we treat them like we are, and we strive for other people's approval and other people's opinions, except when they're not what we want them to be. And so this week, we're gonna, and you know, word is also seed. And so when words are spoken, we choose what we allow to take root. And we also choose what we choose what we fertilize, and we choose what we spray Roundup on. Because if you plant Roundup, if you plant a seed and if you put fertilizer on it, Miracle Girl, what happens? It grows. If a seed gets planted and you spray that sucker with Roundup, what happens to that seed? Bye-bye, baby. It's like, it's gone. It's that sucker is dead. And so words are always going to be spoken. Seeds are always going to be planted by other people and yourself into your garden of life. You get to control what gets rounded up, and what gets fertilized. And so today we're going to be taking Roundup to some of those seeds that you have been letting live in your garden that are not serving you at all. And so, you guys ready to go for this? You ready to dive in to the polar plunge?
Yes. Let's do it.
This is how
Grooving with you.
All right, Debbie, you are up first. Do you have your list, girl?
I have my list. So I was asked if I was pregnant before when I was not. And there's one person in my life that continually has brought up things like, oh, you should see my mother-in-law. Oh, you should see her. You should see her. She's lost weight. She has done so good. Just on and on. And, makes me feel like I want to crawl in a hole. But I do have to say that since that time, recently, that person has changed and asked forgiveness and apologized and all over the place. And she is no longer doing that. Although the thoughts are still in my mind. So in saying all that, just that's not very many things. And I feel I am my worst critic. Most of the hurtful things are said in my own mind. And sometimes, many times I have said them out loud, especially when I look in a mirror. Okay, what do I say to myself? I say nasty words, so I won't put that on here. But I say,
Leave it out.
yeah, leave. How on earth could you do this to yourself? This is what I'm saying when I look in the mirror. Why? Why do you let yourself eat? Why did you eat that whole cake? Why did you eat 6 candy bars while you're driving home? And why? Look how your legs are. This is unbelievable. Do I need to go on?
I want to hear the list. So if that's all you say, then no. But if you say more, then I want to hear the list.
I turn around and I say, oh my gosh, the lump on your back. You look like I can't think of what it is now.
Hunchback of Notre Dame.
Hunchback of Notre Dame. That's what I would call myself. Oh, you're just a hunchback of Notre Dame. You don't look any better than that. You look just like that. What have I said? Oh my gosh. I haven't said nice things.
And how often would you say that you have a negative thought about yourself when you're looking in the mirror? How often would you say you did that?
Every time. Every time. I look and I go, oh, do I have too much blush on? Oh, damn you. I'm darn, your neck is just so, you're unbelievable. And then I just turn around. So I would not look in the mirror. Except to double check the makeup.
And when you do that to yourself, how does that make you feel when you say those things to yourself?
Like a lost cause. Like a lost cause.
And I want to use Debbie as an example because she's first and I know, so when you tell yourself you're a lost cause and you think you're a lost cause, how do you behave?
Well, probably most of the time it was in the morning. So I put on clothes that cover everything up. I'd come out, I'd have breakfast, and I'd usually have 4 pieces of toast. with lots of butter and lots of cinnamon sugar and a glass of milk. And I'd sit in front of the TV and I would just veg out. And that was my mornings. Those were my mornings.
Because when you believe you're a lost cause, you
Mhm.
then behave like a lost cause,
Yeah.
proving to yourself that you're a lost cause.
Mhm.
And when you confirm the belief that you already think is true, that you're a lost cause, you behave like one, it confirms the belief. You then now it cements the belief even more. See, you're just a lost cause. Why are you
Mhm. Yeah.
trying? What's the point? You're just a,
Mhm.
and it creates this cycle. So no matter what you try, when you try to do something, but your belief is that you're a lost cause, does what you're trying to do work? Because the best intentions cannot override your belief, what you believe about yourself. And some of us have had, some of us have a list a mile long of what people have said. And others of us also have a list, but it's not what other people have said. It's what we have said.
Right.
We have chosen to believe. For some of us, it's other people. For some of us, we are our own worst offenders. Okay, Matthew, you are up.
Yay. So I wrote a novel. Yeah. It's funny. I don't know if it's my attention span or my self-esteem, but there's definitely a part of me that sits here going, no one wants to hear all this. We don't want to share all this. And I know I just have to go past that. But to the book. Okay. So I think I've referenced on the show before, at age 6, going to school, getting called egg body. That was when I found out I was overweight, because before that I was just a little kid, right? And kind of freaks me out because I have little kids and I watch them and I don't want them to have to interact with the world because the world sucks. No. And then it's around 7, had a babysitter who was just really stressed about like that I was still hungry or how much I ate, and so she like commented on it, which was just weird. As a kid, like it created this. It was the start of this feeling of shame towards eating in general. And then my grandparents, they had this. It was their 50th wedding anniversary party at their house, and their cake was on this kind of rickety card table, and there was a little candy dish right on the front of it, and there were these dumb little mints that I really liked, and I would kind of put them on my plate, go and eat them, come back, get more, and so I bumped the leg on the table, and the table went down, and it smashed their anniversary cake. And I'm sitting there watching my grandma like weep, and my mom pulls me aside and is like, if you weren't so fat and greedy, this wouldn't have happened. Oh. And I just, it took probably 30 years for me to reach a point where I could like forgive myself for that. It's just one of those things, it just sticks with you. So I did have one guy who throughout like junior high was my best friend. And he was a bigger guy too. And someone had said to me, like, if you don't like get people like him out of your life, you're just going to be fat and ugly forever. And so it was terrible. I went to him and I just told him I didn't want to be his friend anymore. And so that's because I'm the bad guy in that story. And by the way, I stayed fat. I just didn't have my best friend anymore. And it's weird because he actually he reached out to me yesterday, saying he's like watching this and rooting for me, which was sort of like surreal. Like, how are you even like okay with me, you know? So I went in my late teens, I went to fly somewhere, and that was when I discovered, and larger folks are well familiar with this. An airplane seatbelt's only so large, especially on an older plane, and if it's not large enough to fit you, which it wasn't for me, you get to wait for everyone to get on the plane. Then you get to go up to the steward or stewardess and ask for an extension, which is just another seatbelt that gets clicked in. And so I go to do this, kind of nervous, kind of mortified. And he kind of just rolls his eyes and goes, another one. And he was just having a bad day. It wasn't meant to be a knock at me, but it was just like, oh, so I'm in like this, this group of people that are just, too fat to fly. But they have my money, so they have to let me fly anyway. Then just 5, 6 years later, I went to an amusement park with a bunch of friends. This is in my early 20s at this point. And I couldn't fit on some of the rides. Like, you go to pull the lap belt down and when so you wait in line with your friends, you get on the ride, and then it's this poor minimum wage 14-year-old kid that on top of everything else has to tell some guy he's too fat to ride a ride. And he was nice enough about it. There's no nice way to say that. I think he was like, I'm sorry, sir, I don't think you're gonna fit. It's like, oh, dang. Tubing, this is probably mid-20s ish now. First time I'd ever been tubing, fell off the tube, could not get back on it, didn't have enough arm strength, was too big, like just could not. They had to bring the boat around and drop a ladder, and I had to climb onto it. And my well-intentioned girlfriend at the time was like, hey, it's okay, I know other fat people who have the same problem. It's like, oh, thanks, dear. And shortly after that, I was diagnosed with diverticulitis. Again, still only in my late 20s. This is like I don't want to say an old man's disease, but you're more likely to get it I should get it now, not then, And so the doctor said, he's like, yeah, we usually only see this present in, male patients over 40, blah, blah, blah. And he left, and I looked at the nurse. I'm like, so I'm not even 30. What happened? And she's like, well, you're fat, eat a vegetable, like, ever. And then she left, and I'm just like, wow, I hate this hospital. And then years later, I was dating my wife, and she was working with teen youth at the time. And if you want unfiltered, more honesty than you want, either talk to like a 4-year-old or a 14-year-old, because they're basically the same. And so she brings me to this night, this youth night at the church and whatever, and she's introducing me to folks, and we go to these 2 teen girls, and she's like, this is my boyfriend Matthew, and the girls like, oh, I thought you said he was cute. He's like really fat. And it's like, cool to meet you. I'm gonna go. So that was awesome. So then after being married a few years, I reached this point where I noticed that I was eating when I was really stressed, but I didn't want my wife to know that I was eating when I was really stressed, because she'd worry about me, because she's amazing and cares about me. So I started hiding food, but what was lousy was like, I would hit a drive-thru on the way home from work, and then I would walk in the door, and she'd be like, oh, have you already eaten? Which is a super weird and random question to be asking. She's asking it because she already knows the answer, right? And I just flatly lied to her, and I'm just like, no, I'm good. So we'd eat dinner, and we just sit there, and I'm like, oh my gosh, not only can I not control myself, but I'm that guy that just lies to his wife all the time. And awesome. That's great. So that's my list. That's my list.
All right, Laura, you are up, girlfriend.
Ooh. Sorry. I've been told, nobody will ever love you, really. They're just going to pretend. Why, you must want to die because you're killing yourself. And literally had fingers pointed at me and laugh. When I was young, I went through a sexual assault. And even when it was happening, I could hear him even say, oh, you're so ugly, you're so fat. And instead of being angry because of what was happening to me, I felt like, oh my God, I'm so fat that this person who's violating me, like, it just, I felt like that was my no coming back zone. I felt like that was it. As I grew older, my teenage years, and going into adulthood, hearing, why even start? You're just going to quit anyway. Why, you're never going to, be intimate unless they have a bag on their head, I was told. You're going to be alone the rest of your life, and just so many things. And I honestly think a lot of these people didn't realize the death they were speaking over me. I think they were just reacting, and not even giving it a second thought. I had somebody tell me once, have you ever thought about dressing like this? Or, would you try this? Because then you'd be more attractive, or, then this and then that. And it's just like, in my head, I'm thinking, what's wrong with how I dress? But it was like every area was a negative thing. I'm ready to be done with this list. I'm ready to tear it up and be done.
Mary Star, you are up.
I always knew I was a bigger kid than everyone else. Growing up in elementary school, I always went to the YMCA day camp for summers. And I remember hiding wanting to get in the water really quick because I didn't want people to see me. And some of the other kids would comment because I was just bigger. I had bigger thighs, a bigger belly. I was 100 pounds by the time I was in the third grade. And the reason I know that is because in the third grade, they started weighing us. And it was the boys and the girls together in the nurse's office. We would get on the scale, those scales. And if you remember, when you're 100 pounds, you have to move that thing up. And I was the only kid, I think me and my one girlfriend, that they had to move that thing up. And I remember some of the boys just making comments and stuff like that. And that continued until the fifth grade. The fifth grade was just the girls. So the girls had the special talk and we would do that. And I remember being me and my one girlfriend, who was the biggest girl, we would want to be the last people measured, right? And luckily at that time, the nurses didn't announce your weight to everyone, but I remember everybody seeing that, that scale thing go up. And because I was bigger, I started to develop. I mean, at 9 years old, 10 years old, and that got attention that I did not like from boys. And riding the school bus was like just not a good thing. And probably part of the reason I homeschool my kids today, because of some of the, I guess, trauma that I went through. And boys thinking that they could have access. And I think that's when I started hiding. Because when you're bigger chested, you start hiding. And, just kind of like wearing bigger clothes or things to hide. Not being accepted for who I was. And I recognized too the position I had in my career at that time, that I should have maybe worn makeup, but I've always got this frumpy. This is what came back to me, is that I've lived probably a decade and a half in this frumpy look, like bigger clothes, those flowing things. And my husband, he is so incredible. He's loved me any size. But he's like, think you're like, these are frumpy, this is old lady-ish. And he was right. It didn't hurt my feelings. And I remember being in church one day, and I was next to my sister-in-law's, like in her 30s, and I was maybe 40 at this time. And the woman behind me goes to me, she says, "Oh, is this your daughter?" And I was like so offended, but I knew it's because I was looking frumpy, you know what I mean? And no offense, but it's just like I was looking like a grandmother, or I wasn't looking like, because I hide, and I've hidden for a lot of years. I remember being at events where I was feeling so beautiful, and I was like a gala and stuff, and I had this beautiful dress on, and it was like form fitting. And this one of my team members coming up to me and like, "Oh, are you pregnant?" You know what I mean? Because my stomach was sticking out. And I've heard that many times. Being called fat ass and stuff like that, I've just blown those off through the years. Like, I don't say really mean things to myself. But I don't know, maybe because I'm just hiding. Anyway, that's it.
Hi, Cindy.
Hello. So I remember when I would walk home from school, elementary school, junior high. I had a neighbor, and she had a friend who didn't live in the neighborhood, but she would go to her house every once in a while. And when it was just my neighbor and I, we would walk together. But when it was my neighbor and her friend, they would walk behind me, and they would make fun of my weight, just mean things. They would just say mean things. And I never understood that, because this neighbor I thought was a friend, but when she was with her other friend, she was a completely different person. But the things that they said hurt a lot. I didn't like gym class in high school. Back then, when I went to high school, we had to wear a gym outfit. It was a one-piece outfit and uglier than I'll get out. And mine did not fit well. And so I hated gym because of the way I looked in my gym outfit. And girls would snicker and, just things that young teenage girls do. When my husband was in the Army, I started going to an Army doctor. And one day he looked right at me and he said, "Isn't your husband ashamed of you? I mean, he's in the military. You should be fit just like he is." And I remember crying all the way home. And then when my husband got home, I asked him, and he said, "No, I love you unconditionally. I love you for who you are." But that stuck with me for still does. And that was 30 some years ago. I've had 2 pregnancies and 2 ectopic pregnancies, and I've lost them all, of course. And I remember my doctor saying to me that if I would lose weight, I wouldn't lose the babies. And so I've had guilt over that all these years. Not blessing my husband with a child. I'm sorry.
You do not need to apologize. Okay, Missy. Hi.
Hi.
It's your turn.
Yeah, thanks. Someone said, like, you sound like a walrus when you're in the bathtub. You need to stop that because you're waking me up. When I was a little girl, like at my grandma's Christmas, they were like, "We think you're overweight. Go get on the scale." And so I had to go get on the scale, and I think I was all like 9 or something. And they had me go get on the scale and come back and tell everyone, like everyone at Christmas, my weight. Other things are like, you're too lazy to work outside, or do you really think that you can do that workout with, how much weight that you have and your disability? Because I have some of that coming at me too. Other things are like, you walk like dead lice, because I do walk slow. So I know that, but I'm getting there the same way that you're getting there. I think I keep my weight on because I know that I have certain limitations that I was born with, but I tell my kids this all the time, and I think this is why I'm a special education teacher. Don't let your disability define you. It's not me. So who cares if I get there last? Who cares? Did I get there? Damn straight I did.
Jen Short, I'm coming to you.
So my list is growing up, I was made fun of for being thin, and I was made fun of for being knobby-kneed and freckle-faced. But I felt insecure always. Because I was the one that was always the thinnest. And so I felt judged. I felt judged because I was my size, and that was just the size I was. I didn't try to make it that size. I didn't do anything special to be that size. I just was. And some of you guys shared how your family would say things, and that popped up while we were talking, that something happened when I visited my family. I'd been living in Georgia. I hadn't seen them for a while, and I was really excited to see them. And I thought, like, I guess I was looking for praise or validation, because I felt like I was in a good size. I felt like I was a good, healthy person. And I guess I was looking for approval from them in that. And they commented about me being too skinny, and that they were concerned that I wasn't okay. And I think it hit so hard because looking back, I remember my grandparents, my grandma always talking about family members and, oh, well, she's really put on some weight. And so I just really identified with, when I went to go see my family mentally, I should be the size, and I was. And so I was so, like, proud of myself. So when then they came back, like, disappointed and concerned, like, making the comments they made, it made me feel just that I was more screwed up than I thought I was. So the biggest battle has really been me. I don't think I could count on one hand how many times somebody has swore at me. But I can cuss myself out like nobody's business. Jen, you're such a bitch. Jen, you're such a wench. Why would anyone want to look at you? Why would your husband want to look at you? You've gained 40 pounds, 50 pounds. When I was pregnant, I did not feel beautiful. I did not feel the miraculous of life. I felt miserable. And so when I lost the babies that I've lost, the thought that came to my head was, well, you must have effed it up, Jen. Like, you must have just, you must have messed up. You must have done something wrong. It's that one day you didn't take the vitamins, or it's because you can't keep your vitamins down, or you find anything, you think of anything, and it's gone through my head. It's really easy to not go in public places because I just don't want to see the looks, whichever look it's going to be. And so it's made me wonder this week, like, are some of those looks just what I perceived them to be because I had received them in the past? Did I just assume that that's what something meant? I'm just automatically defensive now.
Hi, Mama.
Hi.
And you get to go last after all of that.
Make the most hormonal one go last. Yeah, I guess just hearing everybody talking, it just makes me so angry because I've heard all of these jokes, all of these things said about people from my own family. Like growing up, I had close relatives, and they just constantly made fun of overweight people. And so just growing up, it was just normal. We'd be out and an overweight person would walk past and there would be comments said or jokes and just constantly. So that just from young on, it just played in my head like, okay, so being overweight is shameful. It's something that everyone makes fun of. It's disgusting, all these things. So, I mean, I had a really poor self-image already starting young, like grade 6, I stopped taking lunch to school because my thoughts were already, oh, that's disgusting. People can't see me eat. People can't, they would be disgusted if they would see me eating or all these things. And now that I am on the other side, I'm overweight and I am the size that those family members made fun of. It's just such a mental game now. Of now I'm my own worst critic. Like I don't leave the house because I am so terrified of the looks, of the giggles I see, of like if I do have to leave the house for any reason, I just look down because I'm so terrified of hearing those comments that everyone else has been hearing. I'm so terrified of seeing the people point at me or just hearing comments. So I just stay home and I completely avoid ever being hurt like that because I just hide. And if I am around family or anybody, my other mechanism is just beat them to the punch and just start saying fat jokes about myself. Like, I feel like it's less hurtful if it's coming from me than if I hear it from somebody else. So I'm the first one to jump on that and just make jokes about myself. So I don't have like a super long list. It's in my head, I guess, is a huge list of how disgusting I am and how my husband would be, better off if I would just pass away already so he could just find someone who is skinny. Or I don't want to embarrass my parents or my husband. And I don't want my girls to be that their friends make fun of their fat mom. So we went to visit my parents in Haiti a couple years ago, and they have a girls' home out there, and we wanted to go and meet the girls, and I was really excited. And we went with my family and my sister's family, and when we got there, like they all greeted my sister, and they were like, "Oh, Belle, like she's so beautiful." And sorry. And they saw me. And I don't know a lot of Haitian Creole, but I do know what Papa Noel means. And it means Santa Claus. So, they were just little kids, but that really hurt. So that's kind of why I'd rather just stay in my house and not hear these comments, even though it's playing in my head already, but just to hear it from somebody else, it's just, yeah. But that's it.
Let me say first and foremost, so proud of you for being willing to go there and being willing to be honest and vulnerable, and because freedom, that's where freedom comes from. And so very proud of you for doing that. On behalf of every woman, every girl, every man, every teacher, every student, every past girlfriend, on behalf of yourself, on behalf of any human being that has ever spoke an ill word, who has ever made you feel that you're not good enough, who has ever made you feel that there was something flawed with who you are or your design, or made you feel less important because of a physical appearance. For anybody who has ever made you feel like, why do you even try? For anybody who's ever made you feel like you had to cover and hide who you were, that you had to stay away, that you weren't wanted, that if you weren't there, it would just be better. Anybody who's ever made you feel that way, please forgive me on behalf of them, because that is not the truth. And the truth is, you were perfectly put together for such a time as this. And you are an amazing, strong man who is meant to shine brightly. You're an inspiration. You're bold. You're courageous. And so please forgive me on behalf of everybody who said any of those things.
Oh, this is reaching that want to moment. I forgive you. I release you, and I pray only God's very best blessings for you.
I want to say, I forgive you, I release you, and I release you.
I forgive you. And I release you, and I bless you.
I forgive you. I release you. And I bless every single one of you. In Jesus' name, amen.
Thank you. I forgive you and I release you. And I bless you. Thank you.
I forgive you, I release you, and I bless you.
I forgive you and I bless you and I release you in Jesus' mighty name.
Forgive you. And I release you. And I bless you.
And my prayer this morning was, Lord, let them see themselves the way that you see them. Let them see themselves the way that you see them. Not the way the world does, not the way we do with our judgmental eyes, but the way that you see them. The way a proud father sees a daughter or sees a son. Let them see themselves the way I see them, the way their mentors see them. Because I see a bunch of champions. I see a bunch of overcomers. I see a bunch of people who are a light on a hill
shining for all the world to see. And I want to invite you this week to start walking in that. Because it's a choice on how we choose to see ourselves. It's a choice. We get to choose what perspective we choose to have. Our Father in heavens or the other ones that we've chosen to believe. But it's our choice on how we choose to see ourselves. And so this week, if any of those thoughts start to creep back in, of hey, let's just say that thought starts to creep back in, you're a lost cause. We're supposed to take every thought captive. We're not responsible for the thoughts that come into our head. We are responsible for what we do with them. So if that thing starts to come back in our head of you're a lost cause, your response is, no, I am worthy. You shut the heck up and get out of here. Because what that list did today is it showed its hand. All those things that you have been hiding, that you have been letting overcome you, that you have been letting control you, no more. Today we drew a line in the sand. And we are taking our power back. We are taking power away from the words and we are taking it back. So no more. No more rehearsing the words of other people. No more being your biggest critic. This week, I want you to practice walking in, being your biggest cheerleader. Admiring your booty in the mirror. Maybe walking in front of the mirror and flexing and being like, yeah, baby, that's my muscle. Oh yeah, look at that. Oh yeah, that's my tricep. And I don't care if you can't barely see it. I still want you to do it. I want you to admire yourself because you are worth admiring. And I know you guys ever heard that saying that God don't make crap, God don't make junk? It's true, he doesn't. I mean, it's kind of an insult to him to think that he creates anything but perfection, isn't it? Like the almighty Yahweh, the almighty creator of the heavens and the earth created you. Isn't that pretty crazy? And here we are looking in the mirror some days thinking we're like a steaming pile of crap. Not our God. He didn't create no crap. He didn't create no stinky caca. Nope, he did not. What he created is praiseworthy and is worthy of praise. So
Red team!
Karen, this is your chance. On this interview, just say, go Team Blue.
We won. Go Red Team. Booyah. It was like 14 pounds to 8 or 9 pounds, something like that. We smoked them. Good job, Red Team. Way to go. Looking forward to these next challenges. We got this.
Let's reclaim our glory. And as far as Shane, I'm not even a little concerned. I have twice as many kids as he does.
Go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Show me your muscles. Show me. Oh, yeah.
No stop, no sight. The base of the stand, 45, 19.
All right, guys. Do this for you. All right, ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
It is hard to do in this.
I bet. I
know my breath's still.
10 more seconds.
3, 4,
45 more seconds.
5.
Okay, so Shane, technically, you don't know him. So therefore, this should count as 100 points for you. Ready? Turn.
To National Karate for Matthew Wyatt and the blue team. Go.
Ready? 1, 2.
All right. Chalk up another 100 for Shane. That's 200 total for me.
Now run up to the camera and go blue.
Go blue.
Go blue.
Okay, blue team. This is for the blue team. Here's a total stranger that we don't know. All right. 5.
Let's go.
1, 2,
I ain't made for this.
3. We have a challenge. It's for 5 burpees, and we are in it to win it. So can we ask you to just do 5 burpees for us? Huh?
What is it for?
Oh, it's it's for the blue team. It's a challenge.
You gotta do it. They're kids.
So
Tell a kid no.
so it's awesome.
What do I with you?
And you know exactly what to do. Look at you go.
Hi, I'm Shane, and I chose the cream cheese frosting. This was definitely a go-to for me.
I chose Nutella because it has chocolate. That's my go-to.
I chose Jif peanut butter.
Hi, I'm Ashley, and I chose Skippy Creamy Peanut Butter.
Hi, I'm Jen, and I chose Nutella.
Hi, I'm Peggy, and I chose whipped buttercream icing.
Hi, I'm Andy. I chose Jif Extra Crunchy.
I'm Karen, and I chose Crunchy Peanut Butter in the large size.
We are going to have a team challenge, and then we're going to chat for 15 minutes. After the 1 minute, we're going to have a 1 minute challenge. Then we're going to chat for 15 minutes, and the challenge will be extended for those 15 minutes. For your whatever points you earn to count, you have to succeed during the 15 minutes. You have 60 seconds to get as much out of your container, only using your fingers, your hands.
Hold on. Oh.
Oh my gosh, your faces. Your faces. I wish I had a screenshot of all of your faces.
You're going to have to get that.
Oh my goodness. What? For grams to count, you are going to leave the whole next time, 15 minutes I'm talking, you will not be washing your hands.
Or licking.
Or
No.
if you lick, you're disqualified. If you lick, if you get any in your mouth, you're disqualified. If you wash or wipe your hands 15 minutes, you're disqualified. On your mark.
I can't.
Get set. Go.
Oh! Oh my goodness.
Oh, it's so sticky.
Look at this poop.
It's too
20
small.
seconds down.
I know, my hands don't fit.
60 seconds.
Mine's
Okay.
empty.
Like, you reach the bottom of mine.
I'm done.
Who said they're done?
Hey, Cindy,
Peggy.
Drop some on the floor.
20 seconds left.
get your hands into it.
His hand doesn't fit.
Mine won't fit to the bottom. I didn't know that. I'm gonna cut it over or
Oh
something.
my gosh, Jen.
6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Stop.
Okay. Oh, now how do I get the phone back up?
Look at Peggy.
I have big hands. This is a little hole.
This is yummy. Oh, it looks so yummy.
Doesn't it look so good? Oh my gosh, you just want to like. Urgh.
I know. I think somebody's going to want to taste this.
Okay.
I'm definitely bleeding.
Who's bleeding?
I am.
Oh no.
What'd you do?
I scraped it.
That's dedication. Go red team.
Go red team.
Foods are some of the most tempting foods on the planet. That is not me saying that. That is proven. And one of the reasons why we're at where we're at is because of these foods and temptations. These temptations, these things that we overeat on, and you can insert whatever your favorite food is, Denise. We overindulge. We eat what we shouldn't eat. And here's the thing when it comes to food. Is it really uncomfortable sitting there with a sticky hand?
Mine's melting.
Mine's kind of cool. I'm enjoying it.
It's gonna drop here in a minute. Hold on.
I
feel like I'm at a spa getting a mud bath.
I'm drinking. Carmen, I'm bleeding in 3 places, so it's burning like hell.
I'm not worried about licking it, but I am worried about resting my face on my hand.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Then Jen will be licking it.
We wind up extra weight, extra fluff, extra all that because of indulging into things like this. And part of losing weight long term, not short term, because listen, anybody can lose weight short term. Anybody and their son can go knock off 10, 20, 30 pounds. We've all done it. We've all done it. Who raise your messy hand if you've knocked off weight before? Okay. Also, raise your messy hand if you've gained the weight you knocked off right back. That is partially because we lack this thing called self-freaking control. And yes, it's called self-freaking control. Self-control. It's this thing called willpower. Self-control and willpower. Those are the things, those are the muscles that you have got to strengthen. You want to do more than lose some quick weight. Because inside of here, there's enough accountability that you'll lose some weight. Now, everybody will not lose the same because everybody won't follow directions, is the truth of the matter. I'm gonna stop there. People will not follow directions is the truth. So people will lose different amounts of weight based on how much they follow directions, but your willpower muscle is what you use to say no to things that don't line up with your goals. And right now, we are in the focus phase, okay? And so often when we're losing weight, we get to this place where we start to feel deprived. We start to feel our willpower muscle is this little weak pipsqueak, and it doesn't grow until you strengthen it. And do you know how you strengthen your willpower muscle? Does anybody know how you strengthen it?
Not with our fingers.
You use it. The more you use it, the stronger it gets. So you build your confidence, you strengthen your muscle. Time you give in to a temptation, you are weakening your willpower muscle. Every time you say no to a temptation, guess what you're doing?
Strengthening.
You're strengthening it. You're strengthening that baby. Our willpower muscle is so vital that we strengthen it. And as this stuff is sitting on your hand, icky. Look at your hand. Is that worth it?
No, not so much, no.
But we cave in and we give in for a little taste and a symbol of this thing that's on our hand. That's nothing more than refined sugar, processed sugar, oils. Come on. Tomorrow, any licks, any bites, any spoonfuls of what's on your hand, you're gonna crap it out. This, what's on our hand is what we give up on our goals for. This is what we give in for. This is what we turn to when we have a hard day or a hard moment. This stuff on our hands is that
is this worth it? Is this worth our goals? Is this worth our skinny jeans? Is this worth the bikini? Is this worth the looking comfortable and confident at the reflection staring back at you in the mirror? Is this worth covering up in front of your partner so they don't see you naked? Is this what's on our hand? Is it worth it? Anyway, by the way, it's been 17 minutes. You can wipe off your hands if you have a towel nearby.
My hands feel soft.
What's incredible, Carmen, is that exactly doing this, it's like it's losing its power. It's like it's putting in its place. Like you're controlling it. It's not controlling you. I mean, this thing, you're right, used to control, like, and it's like, it's peanut butter. Why is that? You're absolutely right. It's like a light bulb. It's like, it just is so, it's so incredible.
It's like any food. Yeah. Why? That's great.
Well, and it's really looking at it for what it is.
Yeah.
It is peanut butter. And I'm just going to use peanut butter as an example. It's peanut butter. And you're right. You're either going to control it or it's going to control you. All of us. We did not come this far to only come this far. We're going the whole way.
Yes, we are.
Whole way. I want to share where your brain thinks you can go.